Hello, it's the Tuesday, the 18th of June, 2019. It's 10:53 p.m. It's late for me, Pacific West Coast time. I promised I would talk about editing and getting into the mind of an editor. So let's just rip right into this. Hopefully some of this stuff you can use. Hopefully you can apply it to yourself. Now, if you're a very high-end professional video editor, you probably know all this stuff. You probably already do all these things. You may do these things without even thinking about them. Or you already know this. That's cool. And then we drop down from there. There's the pro who just rips through video edits, and they're really good, and they really chop through and go through, and they really keep the viewer interested in going along. And then there's a person who knows nothing. They run up a video editor and go, "Aye," and flip out because there's a lot of stuff to it. That's all the technical details of video editing. What key do you press? How do you cut? How do you do that? I want to get into the mind of a video editor. Now, picture it this way. You have a kid or a person, but let's just take a kid, not to insult you or say that any of you are kids. You got the kid sitting in the back seat of a car, and you have the adult sitting there driving the car. Now, from the kid's point of view, he looks at that driving and doesn't even think about it. I mean, it's easy. You're just doing your thing, and you go out and you get in the car and it gets from point A to point B, and it looks quite easy. You'll see people do that too with us sports. They'll see someone take a golf club out, they'll swing it, they'll drive it 200 yards, they'll hit it again, they'll pitch it in, they'll make a couple of putts. Makes it look really easy. What they're seeing and what's actually happening are totally disconnected. So this kid's in the back car and it looks really easy. Then you have the next level of driving person where the person's trying to drive a car. And then they're like, whoa, there's a lot of details here. There's the steering wheel and this and the heater and the windshield wipers and the stuff and the this and the turn and the brake and the pedal and the shifter and there's the radio and there's gauges and stuff and speedometers, and that's just inside the car. And then there's other cars and they're whipping by, and there's street sign. There's like a lot of stuff going on when you're driving a car. And then there's the next level of that, the pro level, the person who's just driving along. Now, you may look at some of these video editors and go, wow, they just zip through this and do stuff. And you may look at the person driving a car and go, wow, that's really easy. Look at them doing this stuff. But what's missing here is these people do these things so natural and have drilled it and practiced these things for so long they don't think about it. And that's what it makes it look easy. Now, pardon me. If you could slow down time, just take time and just dial it back. I covered this in one of my instructional videos. There are thousands, if not tens of thousands of things that a person does when they're driving a car. And you don't see those because they're just done and they're practiced and they're drilled and they're known and they're just on automatic. They don't think about it. A person who edits videos has a similar thing occur, and you'll never see it unless you slow time down and you really dissect it. And what I mean by that is there's this mindset. If we could slow it down, somebody comes over, they grab the keyboard, they start editing. Let's cut here. Let's put that over here. Let's grab this thing over here. Let's put this thing over here. And then we're going to cut that over here. Let's put it in a thing over here. Some B-roll here. Boom, 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 boom. They go through and do it. If you could slow time down on someone who edits really good, and I'm not holding myself up as one of the best editors or the worst. My YouTube videos aren't really representative of my concentrated editing. Well, they're not bad. But if you could slow time down, here's what's happening with the video editor. Like if the kid could slow down time with the driving mechanisms, they'd see the person get in. They'd look at the car. What are you doing? I'm looking at the car. I'm locating the door handle. I'm opening the door. Oh, how do you do that? Like this. Okay, now I'm getting my body into the car. I'm sitting it down. I'm closing the door, making sure I don't slam anything in it and it's clear. I'm finding the seat belt. I mean, there's a million actions. Slow time down and see all those actions. If you could slow down time and see what a video editor does without even thinking about it, it kind of goes like this. They look at something and they go, okay, I'm going to put this piece of video here, and I'm going to put this clip here, and I'm going to cut this here, I'm going to cut this here, and I'm going to cut that here, and I'm going to move things around. Now, I'm going to check out what I just did and watch it.
Included antenna to the unit's width, and they supplied an extra one just in case.
Okay, maybe I should move. There's a thing that happened right there. Maybe I should move. Here's what happened. The person looked at it and was editing. They stopped editing. They took off their, I am a video editor and I'm video editing and cutting and making cool things and everything else, and they completely disassociated themselves. They took off that hat. Then they went over here and grabbed this other hat called, I am the spectator, I'm the viewer, I'm the person consuming this video, I'm the person on the other end, I'm the YouTube video watcher, I'm the person who's interested in the data that I'm receiving this. I'm the moviegoer. They press play. They got this hat on now. They're not there to go, is the cut right? Is the timing right? They're here to have the flow of the video come in this way as a spectator and see how it affects them.
The transmitter has HDMI in, which you would connect from your camera, and an HDMI loop, which means you can connect another HDMI device to that, such as your monitor.
Huh. I didn't really understand what an HDMI loop is. I'm being a viewer. I didn't understand. What's an HDMI loop? Right here I would go, okay, take off my hat as a viewer, put on my hat as a video editor, look at my video and go, maybe I should have a little title card come out on this thing that says HDMI loop. It's an extra HDMI output on this that allows you to run this to a monitor or whatever, something simple, right? And then you do that and you edit it and you move your timeline back again and you start again. And you take off your hat as an editor, the doing this, the mechanics, working on the car, and you put on that hat as the audience, the viewer, the spectator, the YouTube viewer is going to be seeing this, the person who's interested in finding it out about this particular subject, be it filmmaking or cameras or whatever. You take that hat off. Now you put on this. Here I go. I'm putting on my audience hat. I'm not an editor. I'm not a producer. I'm not a director. I'm not a money person. I'm not a sales guy. I'm just a viewer, just watching this video, getting data out of it.
Extra one just in case. The transmitter has HDMI in, which you would connect from your camera, and an HDMI loop, which means you can connect another HDMI device to that, such as your monitor. Then you have the HDMI signal going through the airwaves to the receiver. The receiver likewise has dual outputs, so you have the incoming signal from the transmitter, which is already being monitored on the camera, and now two HDMI outs on the receiver where you could connect those to another monitor or TV or whatever HDMI device you have. For me, it will be my Pango HDMI unit that I'm going to use for live streams.
What's a Pango HDMI unit? I don't explain this, right? So now I'm taking off my audience hat because I have a question. I'm going to put on my editor hat and I'm going to go, maybe a little card up here. Pango 4K video grabber that allows you to grab video into your computer and stream it. I would go in, I would edit that, and then I'd back it all up again and I'd watch it again. And I would continue to do this through the whole thing after my rough cut, moving things around, taking off that editor hat, putting on that audience hat, totally disassociating from anything to do with editing or cool or anything else, putting it on, taking it off, and doing this throughout. Now, that seems like a lot of work. This is what people do. This is what you do with a 30-second commercial. This is what you do with an hour-long a couple hour-long training video. This is what you do with a 5-minute YouTube video. This is what you do when you're explaining something to somebody. This is what you do when you do a movie. This is how they take cuts out and everything else. Like, the viewer's going to be whatever. That little time is slowed down skill, that's the thing to practice as a video editor. You get skilled at it and you'll notice. If you know a really, really good video editor, just sit down and watch him. Don't ask questions. Just watch what he does, and you'll see him doing this.
And a button to pair the units up. This system will handle 60 frames per second up to 90.
Okay, that isn't quite right. Let me grab this. Yeah, that's what's going on there. Small. Cool. That should be like that. Cool.
What channel the units run on, and a button to pair the units up. This system will handle 60 frames per second up to 1920 by 1080 or 1080p, which is, for most people watching this channel, monitoring 4K video, you would need a...
Okay, I'd probably cut that point out. It's not really necessary. Again, you don't see it, but I'm going audience, editor, audience, editor, audience, editor. Viewer, producer of things to view, viewer of things produced. If you can sit down and you can just take that hat off and put that hat on, just like driving a car, it's going to be slow. You're going to go, oh my gosh. I mean, I was known many years ago when I learned this and finally figured out this is what these guys are doing. I wish somebody would have told me. It just, I don't know what occurred to me or something. I started by doing this. Literally, I did this.
Out of the unit, we can select what channel the units run on and a button to pair the units up. This system will handle 60 frames per second up to 1920.
Okay, I'm now taking my video editor hat off, and I'm now going to put on my audience hat. I've never seen this video before. I don't know anything about it. I don't know what's occurred. I don't know what's coming up, and I'm going to watch it as the viewer.
New features for the unit, and they include a USB adapter to do that. Lastly, on this side of the unit, we can select what channel the units run on and a button to pair the units up. This system will handle 60 frames per second up to 1920 by 1080 or 1080p, which is for more...
I didn't understand that part there. I'm now no longer the audience. I'm not viewing it as an audience member. I'm not an audience anymore. I'm the creator. I'm the person video editing, and I'm going to handle this little complaint or this idea or this confusion that this audience member told me about. New hat on, turn around. Let's do that. Let's handle that. And I would literally do this. I started out doing this, 20 years ago. Maybe it was more like 15 years ago. And I just started doing that. And it was maybe after a little while, I just started going back and forth until it was like driving a car. I don't even think about it anymore. And the really good editors that I've sat down with and I've watched them, they do this so fast you don't see it, like driving this car. It's something to practice. It's a skill to practice. You're in all the buttons and all the things and the effects and the controls and how do I do this? And I got this panel and that panel and the time code's running and all these tools over here and what does this button do and this key command do and this thing and that thing and everything else. And the real basic editor thing, the mind of an editor says, be able to switch your hat from video creator, video editor, to audience. It's the end of a chain. When you're in there, in the studio over there, and you're actually shooting the thing, you're not running back and forth doing the editing. It's out sequence. It's not the right thing. It's not what you're doing. When you're in there filming yourself, you don't go, okay, hi, this is Kevin. I'm the basic filmmaker, and maybe I should move over a little bit here, and then I'm more in frame. And I wanted to talk to you today about this little CF card drive, which I should probably put in my other hand here. Right? You're constantly coaching yourself, and you're constantly doing that. You're going to drive yourself nuts. Just do it. Do the thing that you're doing, and when you're done doing that, switch to the other hat. I've shot a part of a video, say 3 minutes. I've communicated what I want to do. Now, if you want to go review it, that's a different hat. I'm now taking off the I'm in front, performing in front of the camera hat. Now I'm going to turn on the reviewer and look at it and see if it's okay hat. I do this a lot. And I just do it before. I don't think about it. Just like I don't think about driving my car. You get in your car, you drive to work, you go, you get gas, lights go off, people, you use your turn blinkers. You do everything to get to work. That's how video editing should be. It shouldn't be this painstaking thing. And how do I do that? There's the technical details that you will learn and will need to learn. But underneath all this is obviously having the footage and shooting it, assembling the footage in some sort of story. That's a different hat. Watching the video along to make sure it's assembled as you like. Now watching it, taking off that hat and watching it as an audience viewer and stopping. I'm confused. I don't understand that. That doesn't look right. Maybe I need to explain it more with something up here, fixing that, switching that hat back on and watching it. I will watch a video. Maybe you don't think my videos are all that great. I don't care. This is how I work, at least for my YouTube, because it's very fast and I don't have time to create cool exploding Andrew Kramer shit. But I will watch a video this one's like 15 minutes long. I will have watched this video and gone through and corrected it easily 100 times. Easily. I'll correct, I'll fix, I'll move back, I'll correct, I'll fix. When I'm done, I render it, I watch it. If something's wrong, as a viewer, as an audience, I watch it. If there's something wrong, I go back and fix it. I watch it again with my hat as an audience member. If there's something wrong, I fix it. When I'm finally satisfied with that, I upload it to YouTube. I watch it on YouTube 2, 3, 4 times as an audience member. And if I don't see anything, I watch it on my phone. I watch it on my iPad. I watch it on this computer. I watch it on my 55-inch curved HD TV downstairs until I'm satisfied that it's going to work. Now, warning. There is a point of art or doing it, the art of doing this, and there's this technical perfection where everything's perfect. If your technical perfection, if you're moving your technical perfection and how great you are at this, if it exceeds what you're trying to communicate to the viewer, you're looking at the wrong target. You're shooting at the wrong thing. It's not right. You want to up your level of technical perfection in what you do to be able to communicate to the viewer. If the technical perfection ever stops the communication that you're trying to give to the viewer, then you need to back it down. Because it is all about communicating to the viewer. I'm communicating to you right now. No matter what you see on the screen, somebody is trying to communicate to you. So when you're editing, when you're doing that, you're communicating to someone else. There's someone at the end of this communication that's going to be watching it. And what do they need to do? They need to be interested in it. That's part of their responsibility, by the way. They need to watch it. They need to understand it. They can like it or not. It depends on the genre. Anyway, that's kind of a few of my thoughts on video editing. And I wanted to get real basic here because this is a real basic concept. The two things you should take away from this is practice switching your hats. You are not just the video editor when you're video editing. You are also the viewer. Unless you got 5 or 10 people that you can show this thing to and they can give you feedback on and you can go and correct it, you're going to wear, like all of us one-man band YouTube filmmakers, you're going to wear all these hats. You're the shooter, the scripter, the editor, the fixer, you're the audience, you're the person receiving the video, you're the subtitler, you're like everything. And one of those hats, the very basic hat, is being able to video edit. Take off the video editor hat, take off the production hat, put on the audience hat, and view the thing from the audience viewpoint. If you can practice that, your video editing will become very fast and very good in a very short time. The other thing is you are communicating to someone at the other end. If I could like burn one thing into people who create these things, is that there's a person on the other end of this that we're creating that you are communicating to. What does that mean? That means you should be understood. It means you should be able to explain it. It means you should try not to use huge, giant words that nobody else but you understands. It means that the resultant of the video that you're making communicates to that person. They understand it. What's your communication? Is it a 30-second commercial? Is it go buy a new air conditioner? Is it I want to teach you something? Is it come to the Lamborghini dealer and buy this car, or get our new shoes, or sign up for this service, or sell this service, or think good of our company? There's a billion messages, but you need to know what that message is and what you're trying to communicate to the end user. Those two things I suggest you really practice. Communicating, like just really look at what you're creating and go, I'm communicating to someone out there and they need to understand what I'm trying to communicate to them. Otherwise, why the hell would you even do it? If you're going to do something and no one's going to understand it, then why do it? Unless you're doing it for personal enjoyment. The other thing is working and practicing on taking this audience video editor hat on and off. If you could just practice those two things and keep this communication in your mind, I guarantee you that whatever level your videos are at, you're going to do way better. There's way more to this, but if you chop out all the technicalities and everything else, these sit at the bottom. And if you don't have these two things, you could be a technical genius in whatever video editor you're in, and you're just never going to reach that point where that you want to reach. You're never going to reach that point where people look at your videos, like my commercials and my 30-second spots that I do for others, and they just go, wow, that's awesome. I got that communication. I want to go buy that thing or see that thing or learn that thing. Anyway, it's 11:15 now. I'm going to cut out on this video. It's short, relatively. I hope that helped. I hope this was something that made sense to you. I hope you like this format. It is a more talkative format. I am going to be getting the live stream going so we can have interaction going on here. You can ask questions. I can answer. You can leave comments. I will be sending out emails to everyone saying, hey, what do you want to know about this particular subject, and doing Q&As and stuff like that. And hey, thanks for supporting me and supporting the university and supporting my YouTube channels. I love teaching people, and I love giving them knowledge that they can assimilate and that helps them. I mean, that just makes my heart grow 10 times bigger when somebody says that really helped me. I really hope that helps. Stay tuned. Next week, we're going to do an actual live stream. I will send out an email getting your questions and stuff. We'll cover all that. And if you have any questions in the meantime, leave them in the comments below. If there's something you'd like to see me cover, well, leave them in the comments below or email me, and we'll take it all up. And let's learn together. Let's learn stuff. Let's learn how to do this, and let's become really good. And yeah, let's get really good at this. We'll see you later, and good night.